なぜ私たちがアイテム屋を始めることになったかというと、話は私とティアが出会った時に遡ります。こんばんは。
Excuse me. There's a little sample of how crazy this can get sometimes.
話を聞いてください。 突然やってきた小さなフェアリーさんは私の日常をちょっぴり刺激的なものにしてくれた。まったく。起きなさい。おはよう。
Actually, it does have a morning hand. Or at least the game's clock does.
さあ、仕事しますよ。今日も頑張っていこう。
So, let's talk about looping, because that's something I mentioned earlier, and you probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So in this, jeez. So in this game, there's a game over mechanic that doesn't actually, you know, kill your game. It's called looping, and what happens is that if you fail to make a payment on the debt, as you see, we owe 10,000 on Thursday. So let's say that we don't make 10,000 by Thursday. What happens then is that the game kind of restarts at day 2. So we just start over right through what we just went through with the dialogue and everything. And you get to keep, but you get to keep your merchant level. You get to keep your picks that you have. You get to keep your items that you have, and any of the kind of other things you've done to your shop. However, pretty much everything else is reset. I think except for maybe customer reputation and excuse me, something else. But that's basically all you get to keep. Everything else resets, including your who you have as far as adventurers go, their levels. Maybe their levels stay the same, but you have to re-get the adventurers. And all the other events and things reset, and you have to go through all that stuff all over. So that's kind of what happens, and the penultimate goal for this game is to get a one-loop game, one-loop playthrough. It's kind of bragging rights kind of thing, because it's really difficult to do, unless you do things just right. The first time I played this game, I had to do 3 loops in order to beat it, and I had to do a second loop on the last recording. Try to record this on the, I think it's the 4th week step. Let's see. So, yeah, I think it's the 4th week, I think. Not gonna spoil how much it is because it's kind of crazy. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna open the shop and sell what we have here. All right, so let's talk about the reputation system. How this works is the game is broken down into the selling mechanics, broken into two different sections. The actual, what the character can spend, actually three, I guess. The maximum amount the character can spend at any one time, the amount of price over base price they'll accept, and their reputation with that customer. So how this works is that every time you take an action, you will affect the reputation of a customer. This is during a sale only. So for example, if you sell an item to a customer without haggling over the price, you'll gain 1 reputation point for with that customer. If you sell an item near pin, you'll get 2 points. If you get a just pin bonus, which means you select a amount that the customer was expecting to pay, you'll get 5 points. And if you get just pin with Prime, who will show up later on, you only get 4 points with her for some reason. Now likewise, negative actions cause negative outcomes. So if you drive the customer away because the price is too high, or rather the selling price, the amount over base is too high, you'll lose a point. If you try and sell an item over the budget of your customer, which also causes them to go away, you'll lose a point. And those two, I think, can stack, so that could be a 2-point thing. And if you have over 3 haggles, even if you end up selling the item, you have minus 1 point there. So I think it is possible to have all 3 of these happen at the same time, so you'd have a minus 3 in that case. So how the reputation system works is that it's segmented into 10 different levels. You have 0, which is a starting reputation, and then, well actually we'll say 1 for the starting reputation, and then 2 through 10 for the other levels. And you increase the reputation level by getting 10 reputation points. The amount of points it takes are the same for no matter what character it is. And the way you can tell if you've gained a reputation point, a reputation level with a character, is if they have a heart that shows up above them. And you'll see that throughout the game. Now what this determines, this reputation system, it determines how much a character can spend on an item when they're in your shop. Not necessarily how much you can overcharge them, but how much they actually have in their budget to spend. Like for example, the girl here, since we're at what I like to call the minimum wallet size, she can only buy things that, she can only spend 600 picks on any item. Now, you can also sell items at 104% over the base price, and that's about going to get you, it's going to allow you to get reputation with her really quickly. That's what all these values will be stating off will be, values that will allow you to get, probably 90-95% of the time will allow you to gain a near pin or a just pin, as well as selling without haggling, so it'll allow you to get a lot of points at once. Now it is also true that you can go over or under these values, but if you want to get the most amount of reputation as quickly as possible, using these values that I'm going to list off as we go through here are going to be the ones that you'll want to use. Now after you've maxed out the reputation, maybe you can maybe go try on higher or lower then, but until then I'd recommend just sticking with these. It is also possible to D-level. I'm not sure if there's any kind of icon associated with that, but you can lose points if you get too many negative actions happening with the character. So, like I said, 104 and 600, so what she wants? She wants the range. So, let's go 104. And there's a near pin. And she can buy that. Excuse me. So as you sell things, you'll get a selling bonus as time goes on that will allow you to increase your merchant level more each sale you get. It's an item sell chain. And if you ever fail to sell an item, that'll break your chain. And there are some NPCs that will come in and try to break your chain regardless. Prime is one example of it. Not really made to do that, but she does it a lot because she doesn't like to pay too much over. There's also another character called Yuria. Now, never ever unlock Yuria while you're still playing the main story of the game. If you do, you're never gonna win because she has essentially what she does is she's in here just to screw with your in the game to screw with your chains. She'll come in and try to sell you an item at 350 or something percent over base price, and that's all she'll do. So you can see how that can like throw a monkey wrench in your workings there. The way that you would unlock her though is by going to the town square after you get 100,000 picks. So if you get 100,000 picks, you know, you should avoid the town market or town center like the plague. Unless you're through the main storyline. So this old guy here, the old man, his starting wallet size is 2,400, so 2,400 picks. So you can buy things up to that price, and his normal demand selling percentage is around 107%.
いくらにしようかな。
So that's a near pin and selling without haggling, so that's 3 points there that we've gotten from both of them. And she's back again. Okay, so 104. And then we got just bonus there, so that she has just got a total of 5 more points. So we had 3 and 5, so she has 8. So if I get another near pin with her, she'll get a reputation level. Of course, there's only 2 of the girls in there, and the NPCs act interchangeably. So, for example, these 2 old guys are technically the same NPC. There's just 2 of them. It's the same with the girls, too. Let's go and open the store again. Alright, so 107. Let's try 106. Go a little bit. That's a near pin. And we got a merchant level up. Let's try going 108. See what happens. Now staring at near pin still. And nobody else wanted anything. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go... Alright. I was going to explain the clock, I guess, now. The thing up in the right-hand corner, left-hand corner is what I'm talking about. Trying to burn the shop down in anger. You should always keep track of what your customer's reputation level is, because what'll happen is that as they gain reputation levels, their wallets will increase, as I mentioned before, and they'll be able to sell them more expensive things. Well, maybe not at a higher price, or maybe at a higher price, a little higher base price if we want to, higher than base price. But they will have more money to use. Like, for example, the girl goes from a 600 wallet to a 6,000 wallet once you get her reputation level up. So anything that's 6,000 or less, no matter what the base price is, she'll be able to buy that, and that'll be within her budget. That's really important because you need to make sure that you're not losing money through efficiency issues. Like, for example, if she has a budget of 6,000, but you're holding back so you want to go over that, you don't know what it is. So let's say you sell things at a lower base price, let's say at like 104 or 105, like what her normal is, but you can sell to her at, say, 110 and still be under the 6,000. So you're dropping off, almost 5 to 6% on the base price that you would otherwise be able to get. However, again, that would probably not get you reputation in as much as if you went with the 104%. It's really complicated, but I'll post a link to a file, Excel worksheet file that I've made for this. I'm actually reading out a printed out copy of that, and you can use that to work on your own thing here. There's also some other situations where the amount that you can charge over base price changes, and we'll get to that in a bit. Oh, great. I have to go through this whole thing. I guess not explain that. Maybe it's on the next day. We have to go through the buy tutorial here then. Now, I'm not sure if that sell deer is a typo or it's a translation issue or if it's what it was supposed to be. I'm not sure. You just really can't tell with this game because there's all kinds of that kind of slapstick humor stuff in there. You have to be careful with this. I'll tell you how you can tell if you're buying or selling, and I'll explain why you need to be able to tell this. So, even if you're not sure if you're buying or selling, you see how the top thing there says, "What should I pay?" That will always be yellow for when you're buying something from a customer. So just ignore what it says and just see if it's yellow or white. If it's white, you're selling to a customer. If it's yellow, you're buying from a customer. There are some customers, like Arma, who will not have a very descriptive thing just differentiating selling but from buying, because they'll come in and say something before they buy or sell an item. Some will say, like Tier just did, kind of, what will you buy this from me for? But Arma just comes in and says maybe something like, to the effect of this, or I'm depositing this item. That's a bit more descriptive, but she'll come in and say this sometimes, and if you're not paying attention and you go to say, okay, well, she's buying something for me, and you put the base price up to maybe 110, then you realize, oh wait, I'm actually buying something, and you just paid more than you needed to. Now, for a general rule, you can go down to about 50% on a lot of these. Or wait. No. 70 is usually about what it is. There are a couple 60s in there, but generally it's 70 and 71%. That's pretty much 90% of what you can sell to and get a pin, or a just pin or a near pin. 73 for Elon, and 71 for the Housewife and Man. 73, 60, and 60 for Kailu and Tylee, and 70 for everyone else. And I'll mention who those are when they come in. So, let's go down to, let's use this, 80%. Jeez. Okay. Now, all these values I'm stating right now are all when you have normal demand for an item. And that'll be explained a little bit here. There are times when you can have increased demand and decreased demand, which will affect what you can sell an item for. So what we're going to do now is, we're going to go to the Adventurers Guild and get this out of the way right now. So at the Adventurers Guild, you can go hire an adventurer to go dungeon crawling. But the first dungeon and adventurer we're going to get is going to be Louis, and we have to take him through the training dungeon that they have to go through to pass an exam to get their license cards, so that they can actually function as a guild-sponsored adventure.